create wealth in the nation, to be able to reach out to those who are poor, we must remember that between 2005 and 2012, almost 140 million people came out of poverty in India, which was a major step forward. So therefore, when I'm talking about the growth in economy, I'm not looking at it purely as an economist would say in terms of statistical numbers, but how it translates for the people living in the country. So our GDP has decelerated. Our investment rate has significantly dropped from a level close to 36% in 2013-14. We have come down to about 27%. Now, this is a real alarming issue because when your investment rate goes down, it means that there are no new investments happening, there is no great expansion happening in the industry or services, and therefore, when we see the third element of it, which is job creation. Almost 15 lakh people come into the 15 lakh people come into the job market every year. And the jobs that we have created, for instance, in 2015 were close to 150,000. And in 2016, it's close to 225,000. So, we are not being able to create jobs. Now, what happens when you don't create jobs? You get a lot of social unrest because the people, the younger people get very uneasy. We are seeing two phenomena on this, which are social phenomena, which is happening. If you see year after year after year, for instance, when we see these Kawadiyas going to Haridwar to pick up Ganga Jal, the numbers is increasing. And if you look at the average age of these people, this is between 18 and 25, 26, 27. Now, people can be on road for 1 month because they don't have any productive job. Otherwise, if the economy was really doing very well, if these people had productive jobs, they would not be able to go out. This is just an indication, but you see this manifesting itself in all kinds of social unrests which happen around the country because people don't have jobs. So we have not been able to create jobs. This is the other part. Farm distress. Farm distress is becoming acute. And why is it becoming acute? Because if you look at components of agriculture economy, there are three major components. One is farming itself, which is the mainstay, which is the underpinning of agriculture, of the rural economy. But then you also have animal husbandry. A lot of pastoral people are involved in it. And then also it is an additional income which came to the farmer. And with all this cow protection, agitations and lynching of people, etc., a very large significant part of wealth or capital, Godhan, which was there for people to trade in, that has come to a grinding halt, which is impacting the rural farmers, etc. And the third is the artisans, who are basically dependent on the other two, and demonetization effectively killed that particular sector. We must be mindful that 45% of India's economy is in the non-formal sector, close to 80% of employment is in the non-formal sector, and 99% of non-formal sector is cash economy. So when we sucked out the cash from the market, it destroyed, completely, nearly destroyed the informal economy, and that also had a very large spillover impact in the rural economy. So we have had this great rural distress which is happening. Now I'll just very quickly close and then start the conversation by bringing just one other factor. And that other factor is, all this has happened at a time when the global economy was so benign as far as India is concerned that we could never have prayed for anything better. Oil prices had crashed, almost came down to $35 per barrel, and $35 per barrel. Our fiscal deficit was coming down because of this bonanza that the government reaped on account of the taxes and cesses on petroleum products. Close to 10 lakh crores was mopped up from the people by the government in the last 4 years on taxes on petroleum and other products, which was actually available to the government to recapitalize the banks, to bring reforms in the agriculture sector, to create infrastructure in the rural areas, to be able to provide better medical and educational facilities to the people. All this was possible because the external factors were very benign for India. Unfortunately, that window has closed. We are now moving up. We are seeing rupee being berated. I'm very mindful of the fact that the next 1 or 2 years are going to be extremely difficult for the country because a lot of money is going out of India. There is hardening of interest rates in the US, so almost 15,000 crores went in April, and May 18,000 crores have gone out of the country, the FII investments which were there. And with the oil prices rising, our current account deficit is also going to be impacted badly. Once again, when the going was good, we were not even able to do something about the exports because the exports have also fallen, especially in those areas which are employment intensive. For instance, ready-made garments, gems and jewelry, etc. The exports have fallen drastically. So in this scenario, I think it is important for us to understand why have we really missed the boat? Why is it that we were not able to take advantage of this situation? And why have we landed in a situation where the economy is really in a very poor shape? So I would like to start the conversation with you, if you don't mind, to see how you would react. But let's do this. Let's talk for about 5-6 minutes, then pass on to the others, and then we'll come back to you again, and so the conversation